Recently, local residents have noticed a large number of dead fish washing up onto the shore. They are very concerned that the reason they are washing up onto the shore is because there is a toxic chemical that has been released into the water. They are also concerned that it could potentially affect their health as well. I've been tasked with researching to see what toxic chemical has been released into the water. The toxic chemical that I found most likely to be causing the issues is hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide is a colorless gas. It is poisonous, corrosive, and flammable, and it is mainly in the sulfur oxide group. So where exactly does it come from, though? Well, hydrogen sulfide comes from the sediment, which is mainly resulting from the sulfate reduction by microorganisms in the water, which can diffuse into the overlying water that the microorganisms live in, and then it enters the whole water system. I hypothesize that since the toxin is being released into the water itself, and fish live, breathe, and eat in the water, the fish are most likely to ingest or inhale the toxins. So what exactly does it do to the fish? What causes the fish to die from this? Well, it interferes with their respiratory system. It interferes with their breathing functions, transforms iron content in blood to sulfide, which restricts oxygen absorption and increases respiratory stress. So eventually the fish will just suffocate and die. So they were concerned about the effects that it had on them as well. Many were concerned whether or not it actually affected humans, and the answer is yes, it does. If a human ingests or inhales in high amounts, it can damage organs, can result in difficulty breathing as well, convulsions, and potentially death if left untreated. What is the main organ or tissue affected by this toxin? Well, in both fish and humans, the organ that is mostly affected is the lungs, the respiratory system. You have a very hard time breathing, which would result in the fish suffocating. It just basically shuts down your working organs, starting with your lungs. So when we think of a cell has many different parts. So what organelle is affected? Well, the organelle that is affected the most is the mitochondria, the powerhouse. This helps in the production of energy. But the main part of the mitochondria that is affected, the part of a process, would be the mitochondrial homeostasis. This is basically a part of just producing energy, in simpler terms. Hydrogen sulfide can also involve itself in dilating blood vessels, and it can also regulate hormonal metabolism. This is if it is not in the bloodstream at a high level. Is there an enzyme that the toxin interacts with the most? From the research that I've done, the toxin is interacting with the adenosine phosphate enzyme. This is the enzyme that regulates muscle energy metabolism. So why exactly is all this happening? What could be reasons that this toxic chemical is producing in large amounts and causing death among many fish? Well, this toxicity could be from oil drilling. Some of the oil drilling that takes place is in the ocean. They have oil rigs out there to where we are able to bring up oil from the ocean surface and use it. So hydrogen sulfide occurs naturally in crude oils and gases. So when you are drilling in the water, it could be causing it to leak into the water system and eventually poisoning the fish and potentially humans. Another reason could potentially be an increase of algae production. A way to think of this that I like to think of is if you think of a fish tank. You think of the algae that builds up on the side of the fish tank the green, that you have to clean off regularly to keep your fish healthy. So that could be the same thing happening in the ocean. If you think of algae building up on the ocean surface, that is causing the hydrogen sulfide to just lay in the water itself, so the fish are having to absorb more and more of that. So all in all, I would say the main reason that the fish are dying off would be this hydrogen sulfide increase in the waters. And the humans should know that it can potentially be dangerous to them if it is left untreated, and they should take action in trying to prevent this from occurring more frequently and getting higher levels into the water.